What is up, everybody? It's Copes here, and today I am back with the last and final bracket for this season of Fortnite. I will make sure to do this next season, but in today's bracket, we have every single uncommon skin. There are currently 82. I'm assuming you guys have already seen the legendary, the epic, and the rare skin brackets, and I've already explained how this works. It's pretty self-explanatory, but if you guys don't know how it works, make sure to go check out those videos. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Let's shuffle these seeds and let's get into it. I've got to say, guys, looking through all the uncommon skins, I really don't care for too many of them. Armadillo is definitely one of those. I think it's a super ugly skin model, just like the Midnight Ops. I gotta go with the Trooper. We have the Pastel versus the Slingshot. These are two reskins of other skins. Which one do I like more? I've got to go with the Pastel. Next up, we have the Bullseye versus Lieutenant Logo. I've got to go with the Bullseye. I'm going to try to get rid of as many of these skins as I can, because there are 8 different ones of them with different skin models, and I would say this one definitely isn't my favorite. We have another one of these skins where you can change the color and the emblem, but the King Flamingo is one of my favorite meme skins, especially for uncommons. I've got to go with it. The Star-Spangled Trooper or the Nightlight. I really don't like the Nightlight or the Light Show. I did when they first came out, but as of right now, yeah, it's just a little bit too much. Aura or the World Warrior. I actually really like both of these skins, but the Aura's obviously gonna win that one. The Sunflower versus the Hard Charger. I've got to go with the more unique Sunflower. I feel like the Hard Charger is just a combination of a bunch of skins. We have the Recon Ranger versus the Sargeant Sigil. I've got to go with the Recon Ranger. I love this color scheme. The Jungle Scout versus the Verge. I think the Verge is one of the best male uncommon skins. I got to go with it. Next up, we have the Assault Trooper versus the Match Point, and I've got to go with the default skin on this one, guys. The Brute Gunner or the Sergeant Green Clover. The Brute Gunner is a dope skin. I actually really like it now. At first, I felt like it was too similar to other skins, but the more and more details I see, the more and more I use this skin, I actually recognize that, hey, it's pretty creative. But the Sergeant Green Clover, it's gotta win. Patch Patroller versus the Whiplash. I feel like they did something nice here with the Patch Patroller, but it wasn't nice enough. It was a little bit too much. The Cabbie versus Devastator. Even though I don't care for this male Whiplash reskin, I like it more than the Devastator for sure. Next up, we have the Plastic Patroller versus the Deadfall. If you guys did not know, the Deadfall actually has 3 other reskins of himself. I'm basically going to kick out the 3 I like the least and keep the 1 I like the most, because I do like the skin design. I just don't want 4 of the same skins in this list for too long. So we ran into a fork in the road. We have the Knockout here, which is a reskin of the Deadfall, and the Symbol Stalwart has 7 different reskins of himself. So I've got to go with the Symbol Stalwart. I like it a little bit more. The Red Jade versus the Brainiac. I've honestly got to go with the Brainiac. I really love his new edit style. I like the Red Jade, but Brainiac's better. Sure Shot versus the Whistle Warrior. I'm sorry to say, but the Whistle Warrior is going to win all day. The Sure Shot shouldn't exist as well. The Crimson Scout versus the Bunny Moon. I've got to go with the Bunny Moon, guys. Next up, we have the Ranger versus the Trooper, and these two are very plain skins. The Trooper is a mostly white skin, and the Ranger is a mostly yellow skin. I like the color yellow a little bit more. In this case, I've got to go with it. We have the Snake Pit, which is a reskin of the Deadfall versus the Commando. This is not my favorite. Got to pick the Commando on this one. Renegade versus the Pastel. Renegade is very plain. If you want to look it up, if you don't know what it is, it's basically a girl with a red shirt. That's it. I like the Pastel more. The Guild versus the Bullseye. I actually really like the Guild for a male uncommon skin. It's pretty creative. You don't see too much like it, and I don't think we ever will. I gotta go with it. Next up, we have the Mark Marauder versus the King Flamingo, and this isn't Marker Marauder, it's Marked Marauder. I would say this is not my favorite Banner Brigade set skin, so I have to go with the King Flamingo. We have the Gauge versus the Tracker. The Gauge was a failed attempt at a skin. I gotta go with the Tracker. Next up, we have the Grill Sergeant versus the Star-Spangled Trooper. The Star-Spangled Trooper actually has grown on me quite a bit with that new edit style. The Grill Sergeant, I've never really liked. Yuletide Ranger versus the Light Show. Yuletide all day. The Prickly Patroller versus the Aura. I've got to go with the Aura, guys. It's so much better. The Branded Brawler versus the High-Rise Assault Trooper. The High-Rise Assault Trooper is literally puke on a shirt. Even though this came from the Banner Brigade set, I still got to go with it. The Brute Navigator versus the Sunflower. If I had to pick, I would definitely go with the Brute Gunner over the Brute Navigator. But regardless, if this was facing the female or the male version of the Brute skin, I would still go with the Sunflower. The Scarlet Defender versus the Striped Soldier. The Scarlet Defender for that beanie edit style. The Vice versus the Recon Ranger. This is actually my favorite edit style for that Deadfall skin. The Vice versus the Recon Ranger. Guys, this is my favorite edit style for the Deadfall skin, the Snake Pit skin, all those skins. This is my favorite out of the bunch, but the Recon Ranger is better than all of them. Munitions Major versus the Garrison. If I had to pick one, I would go with the Tfue. Star-Spangled Ranger versus the Verge. The Verge moves on. Power Recon Specialist versus the Dominator. I mean, come on. The Bolt versus the Assault Trooper. Bolt all day. Relay versus the Red Nose Ranger. I gotta say the Relay is just so much better, but that's not really giving credit to the Relay. It's just dissing the Red Nose Ranger. The Desert Dominator versus the Sergeant Green Clover. I actually really like the color scheme of the Dominator, but I gotta go with the Sergeant Green Clover. Manic versus the Whiplash. I wish I could give it to the more creative skin with the Whiplash, but Manic is just better. Nogops versus the Cabbie. Nogops all day. The Anarchy Agent versus the Sizzle Sergeant. I never felt like the Sizzle Sergeant should have been a skin, but the Anarchy Agent is so violently bad that I have to move on the Sizzle Sergeant. Next up, we have the Cole versus the Plastic Patroller. I've got to go with the Plastic Patroller on this one. I like the male and female version, about the same. Tactics Officer versus the Birdie. Never really cared for the Birdie. I'm gonna go with the more simple one with the Tactics Officer. Bracer versus the Symbol Stalwart. I mean, come on. The Hayseed versus the Tinseltoes. The Hayseed is a decent skin, but the Tinseltoes is just not a good Christmas skin. I don't feel like it needed to be made, but they made it anyways. We're gonna go with the Hayseed. The Crystal versus the Brainiac. I really like the Crystal. I think it's a dope sweaty skin, but I'm gonna honestly go with the Brainiac. I think he's just a little bit more creative. He's a little bit more fun as a skin, and I love that pink color scheme he has. Toy Trooper versus the Scout. The Scout was never going to win, guys. Swamp Stalker versus the Whistle Warrior. I feel like the Swamp Stalker has grown on me a bit, but the Whistle Warrior is still better. Pathfinder versus the Grit. The Pathfinder solely wins because the Grit is bad. Scorpion versus the Bunny Moon. I've got to go with the more colorful one, the Bunny Moon on this one. Next up, we have the Banner Trooper versus the Branded Brigader, and I would have to go for this set. This is my favorite, the Banner Trooper for sure. Next up, we have the Ranger versus the Commando. The only reason the Commando got so far into this bracket is because it got a bye the first round, and then the second round, it faced a reskin that I wasn't going to send through regardless. So the Ranger has to move on. The Guild versus the Pastel, gotta go with the Guild. King Flamingo versus the Tracker, King Flamingo all day. Star-Spangled Trooper or the Yuletide Ranger. If I had to pick one, I would probably go with the Yuletide Ranger. Aura versus the Branded Brawler, the Aura all day. Sunflower versus the Scarlet Defender, I've got to go with the Scarlet Defender. Recon Ranger versus the Munitions Expert. For me, guys, I love this color scheme. The pink and gray, they don't seem like they would go together so well, but they really do. The Verge versus the Dominator. The Dominator was never going to win. Bolt versus Relay, same with the Dominator. Relay was just not going to win. Sergeant Green Clover versus the Manic. Guys, I love the Sergeant Green Clover, but I've got to be honest. If I were to choose between one of these skins to use for the rest of my life, the Manic would win every day. Nogops versus Sizzle Sergeant. Nogops for sure. Plastic Patroller versus the Tactics Officer. Plastic Patroller all day. Bracer versus the Hayseed. I don't really care for the Hayseed all that much. Bracer for sure. Brainiac versus the Toy Trooper. I've got to go with the Brainiac on this one. Whistle Warrior versus Pathfinder. Whistle Warrior. Bunny Moon versus the Banner Trooper. The Banner Trooper has to win. Honestly, I would say round 3 has been the easiest one so far. It seemed like almost every skin I liked was facing some weak competition that it easily blew out of the water, at least in my mind. The Ranger versus the Guild. Even though I think the Ranger is a pretty decent sort of default looking skin, The guild is just better looking, let's be honest. The King Flamingo versus the Yuletide Ranger. King Flamingo, one of my favorite meme skins. Wasn't really a question. The Aura versus the Scarlet Defender. Even though I love the Scarlet Defender's beanie, I've got to go with one of the sweatiest looking skins in this game. I would say it's one of my favorite sweaty skins as of right now. I know it's insanely popular, but Aura has to win it. Recon Ranger versus the Verge. Guys, if I had to pick one, I definitely wouldn't go with the all black design. I would go with something a little bit different. The Bolt versus the Manic. I've never really cared for the Bolt's color scheme all that much. It's decent, but I like the Manic more. Nogops versus the Plastic Patroller. Guys, if I had to pick one skin, it would be the Plastic Patroller. Nogops, a little bit too old for my liking. That doesn't mean it's a bad skin. It just means I've used it too much. I don't care for the design as much as I used to. I think there's better Christmas skins out there as of right now. I'm not picking it. The Bracer versus the Brainiac. I love the Bracer for a tryhard skin, but the Brainiac moves on. The Whistle Warrior versus the Banner Trooper. Some days I think the Whistle Warrior is my favorite skin, but if you put it up against another skin like this, or at least in my case, I feel like it changes it up a little bit. It changes how I view this skin. Honestly, I see the Banner Trooper sort of as a soccer skin because it has so many different color schemes and edit styles. You can change the skin up so much. I've got to say, guys, if I had to pick one, it would be the Banner Trooper. We have the Guild versus the King Flamingo. I've got to send this King Flamingo on, guys. Aura versus the Recon Ranger. If I had to pick one skin, I think these two are probably top 3 for my favorite sweaty skins, at least uncommon skins in this game. I would have to go with the Recon Ranger. I think that color scheme is so creative. I like it so much. The Manic versus the Plastic Patroller. I've got to go with the Manic. It really wasn't a hard decision. The Brainiac versus the Banner Trooper. If I had to pick one, even though I love the new edit style for the Brainiac, the Banner Trooper has to go on. King Flamingo versus the Recon Ranger in our final 4. This one is so tough because some days I like memeing around. I like using the funny skins, but some days I love sweating. And if I was memeing, I would definitely pick the King Flamingo, obviously. If I was sweating, the Recon Ranger is one of my favorites. This one is tough, guys, but if I had to pick, I feel like I would pick the Recon Ranger. The Manic versus the Banner Trooper. Even though the Banner Trooper has so much to it, it's got so many different edit styles, it's got so much you can change about it. It looks good through all the changes. The Manic, it's just simpler. I feel like it's a combination of some of my favorite skins, or at least the Elite Agent. I feel like it took some inspiration from that. And then the Red Line, which I think is decent, it took some inspiration from that. They combined them, they made the Manic, and I really like it. I've got to go with the Manic on this one, guys. So we have the Recon Ranger versus the Manic. And honestly, guys, for one of the most creative color schemes that actually works, so you guys already know who's gonna win. The Recon Ranger is going to win this one. Honestly, going into this video, I didn't really know who I was going to pick. I didn't know for sure if I was going to pick the Recon Ranger. I knew it would go far, but I didn't really know for sure. But each time it went head to head with something, especially when it beat the Aura here, I knew it was going to win. It was a tough decision, but I feel like Epic Games pulled off something pretty special here. They took a tryhard skin, they threw on some maybe random ugly colors, but somehow it works together. I don't know how it does. I can't explain it to you. It just does. Tell me what you guys think about this uncommon bracket. Do you guys disagree anywhere? I feel like there are a ton of bad uncommon skins and a lot of great ones as well. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys did enjoy. I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys. Bye.